Are you looking for a way to harness your creative energy? I mean, I'm just getting started, but where in New York can you learn how to do this? Stay tuned to find out. Hey everyone, I'm Dave Evans, and welcome to $9.99, the show that takes you around the city, showing you all the neat things you could do for under 10 bucks. Today we are investigating the world of craft and what exactly that word might mean. There's some folks in Brooklyn that I think could help us with that definition. Located on the banks of Brooklyn's Gowanus Canal is Proteus Gowanus Art Space. Proteus hosts an ever-changing display of gallery shows, projects in residence, and workshops that help the aspiring craftsperson turn raw and found materials into creative expression.
Sometimes the best way to explore an idea is using your hands. 1 minute, you're a craftsman, the next minute you're a historian, and the next minute you're an artist. Our goal is to blur the boundaries between these kinds of distinctions.
One of the former Proteus artists in residence remains a popular monthly workshop. The Fixers Collective meets every third Thursday for collaborative fixing.
Part of the idea was to give people a sense of empowerment. They could take all their stuff, instead of throwing it all away, they could actually fix things themselves, and that it was economical to do that and environmentally beneficial to do that.
To find out more about this movement, I spent some time with the fixers themselves. And whether the patient is a toaster oven or a computer, the goal is saving these items from the trash. But what makes a fixer?
Anybody who takes an interest in just trying to figure out how things work, if you're willing to dive in, we'll call you a fixer.
Visitors to the Fixers Collective, they're not just showing up with something saying, here, fix it for me.
We will help them and guide them through the process as they fix it, and that brings sentimental value to the things that they bring in. So they can take it home, show it, and say, I fixed this.
I brought an old banker's lamp in hopes of resurrecting it. But where do we start? Is this something that could be fixed?
Oh yeah, it looks like somebody just took off a few parts, but we can at least perform some diagnostics.
Okay, that's always a good first step.
Just check the connections, just be sure that they're basically sound.
The logic of fixing is simple. You start by testing the item at hand and try to hone in on the root of your problem.
We can test the switch.
Oh, okay.
We're that big, we would have.
Nothing.
Nothing.
If it was on the floor.
So can we assume that it's stuck in the off position?
Either that or it's burned out.
We figured out that the switch was faulty, so Master Fixer Joe cobbled together a few other broken switches, and we got this. Look at that.
You can hear by the click.
Ooh. Now with a switch that seemed like a winner, we reinstalled it into the lamp. Hopes seemed high.
This is looking good. I've got a good feeling about this, Joe.
Okay.
Vince, how do you feel?
It's good.
All right.
All right, let's have a bowl.
Here.
In case you're wondering, it only took one fixer to screw in our light bulb, but 3 of us to cheer on the lamp in hopes that it'll light up.
Plug it in.
We're gonna pull the switch.
This is the moment of truth.
Oh, the switch is still bad.
Oh!
Yeah, this switch is funky.
A little further investigating, and I think we'll have... Do you come with the lamp? You just stand there.
Still.
The fixer movement is really about teamwork, discovery, and learning together while repairing. But what will a visit cost you?
All of our fixes are free. If you really like what we've done and what you've done, we'll ask for a $5 donation. The value we generate is more than the $5.
And thank you so much.
Right, thanks, Dave.
And if you've got an item that you want to fix, or if you just want to come by and tinker, here's more information on how you can visit the Fixers Collective. Learn how to fix something and hang with other tinkerers with the Fixers Collective at Proteus Gowanus. If you know me, then you know pretty much everything makes me hungry. So I found a shop in Brooklyn that's handcrafting some truly special donuts. Located on Montrose Avenue in East Williamsburg, Dunwell Donuts is the first exclusively vegan donut shop in New York City. And with unique flavors like avocado chocolate mousse, cherry pie, almond cocoa joy, and maple bourbon, there is something for everyone. Dan Dunbar and Chris Hollowell are the brains behind this operation, and they're willing to show me where the magic happens.
First and foremost, what makes a donut vegan? Or what makes a standard donut not vegan?
Well, people usually using eggs, like cupcakes or anything. You want eggs, you want milk, you want butter. And Dan and I, we're both vegan, but we're both, health conscious, like cholesterol-free donuts if you want.
After kneading and rolling out our all-vegan dough, we cut them into circles, pop out the middle, then off they go into this contraption to rise. When they're the right amount of puffy, they head over to the, donut robot. But a donut isn't truly a donut until it's got that shiny glaze.
I'm going to show you one of the things that we really fine-tuned, and that's the caramel glaze.
All right.
The ingredients are simple: coconut oil, vegan butter, soy milk heated carefully, and then lots and lots and lots and lots of powdered sugar.
Yeah, it's a lot of sugar, but it'll cover a lot of donuts too.
Now it's dipping time.
This is exactly how easy it is. Plop, out,
Ooh, fast.
sprinkle.
Okay. Oh, they are hot.
Yeah, you don't hold them for too long.
I held them too long.
Yeah.
Ha! That is hot!
2 dozen to go, and all I want to do is eat one of these things.
They smell fantastic. They're very nice to look at as far as donuts go.
You're gonna see they're also very nice
Tasty.
to eat.
I'm trying to hint at the point where you say, go ahead, Dave. You may want to try one.
Go ahead, Dave.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? There's nothing like a hot donut.
Now that we're done with the main course, we need dessert.
This is a cherry pie donut, and these are homages to our grandmothers.
And I think my grandma would approve. A little fruit topping gives it that comfort food feeling.
There's nothing not to like about a donut.
You know, everything we do on $9.99, for the most part, should be under $10. So
Perfect.
where do we come at in that price point with our donuts?
$10.45.
Gotta go.
Yeah, we're pretty much always under $10.
That's awesome. All right, let's cut to the chase. I want to taste this donut.
I'm gonna do it too.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
All right, Dan.
I
Cheers.
didn't wait, sorry.
Ah.
Oh, yeah. Dunwell Donuts. Donuts done well.
I was gonna say it.
Right to that camera.
Dunwell Donuts. Donuts done well.
For more information on how you could have some Dunwell Donuts, check this out. Thanks, guys. I'll mail you the apron. But the donut's coming with me.
Gourmet donuts made fresh at Dunwell daily. I never thought vegan could taste so good. Now let's burrow hop from Brooklyn to Manhattan for the next stop on my crafts exploration. Halfway down 15th Street between 5th and 6th Avenues is the virtual mecca of knitting right in Union Square. Before even stepping foot into Lion Brand Yarn Studio, you're greeted by their famous window displays. Once inside, you'll feel like you're walking into a woolen rainbow. It's one of the more colorful stores in New York City. And if you knit or crochet, they've got everything you can imagine, every color, texture, and style of yarn that you'd need to complete your project. But this isn't an ordinary yarn store.
We wanted to make some place that was so much more than just a yarn store. We wanted an event space, an education center. It's also really an amazing social place. So it's a kind of special little land.
But one doesn't become such a special store overnight. In fact, Lion Brand is one of New York City's oldest businesses.
We've been here for 135 years. So it's a 5th generation family-owned company. Orchard Yarn and Thread was the original name of the company. Started on, probably you could guess,
Orchard Street.
That's so good. Yes, on Orchard Street.
I have to wonder, in an age of all things digital, what keeps people knitting?
Knitting and crochet means so much to people. It brings comfort. Making something with your hands is an incredible experience that cannot be undervalued.
Is there something I can do right off the street at Lion Brand for under $10? Beginner, go easy on me.
I think we can get you set up.
Okay.
I think I see a hat in your future.
All the patterns at Lion Brand are free, and there's thousands of them. Time for me to pick out a color yarn, but the Libra in me just can't choose. Okay, let's do red. But this hat isn't gonna make itself. After some basic instructions from Patty, she assured me that I'm not in it alone.
Now, luckily, there's a lot of people here that can help you.
Okay.
So you can sit, you can cast on, but you can holler if you need a hand.
Okay.
And men's night is tonight.
I could head up to men's night.
You can.
I will show you my finished hat when it's done.
You're gonna do great.
Maybe a year from now, but I'll take a picture and send it to you.
You'll do
Thanks,
great.
Patty.
You bet.
Upstairs in the Lion Brand classrooms is where the guys meet every third Thursday. Even though I was a beginner, they welcomed me with open arms.
What is it about getting together at a place like Lion Brand once a month and doing it socially that, well, first off, I'm having trouble concentrating when I'm stopping to talk. How do you guys talk and do it at the same time?
It's just getting together, we have something in common, and just enjoy doing it and learning. We learn from each other.
Yeah.
When do you get a chance to come to a group that's all men?
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
It is awesome.
The projects that the fellas work on vary from week to week. You'll see items like scarves, sweaters, and these incredible hats.
These are these fantastic hats. Tell me what they are, how you got to making these. Can I put one on while we talk about them?
Sure.
Okay.
There was an image in a childhood book that I really loved, a fairy tale image, and it had all these little elves with pointy hats. And I started, I guess, crocheting after a fashion a year or so ago.
Awesome. And handmade.
While they look knitted, Robin is crocheting these hats, and there's a world of difference.
I don't want to put down knitting, which I love dearly, but I kind of love crocheting a little more, and you can get a very similar effect. I'm doing Tunisian cables now, and Tunisian is another form of crochet, and it looks very much like knitting.
You are a knit hater. You say you love it, but you're a knit hater.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
No matter what kind of craft you're into, all the guys do agree on why it's rewarding.
Because I like making stuff. I like creating something that I can give to someone else and they can appreciate it. And like I said, they're gonna. It's always great when somebody says, Jonas made this.
Well, thanks, guys. I really appreciate you letting me sit in. So if you're a guy knitting or crocheting at home alone and you want to be a part of this, for more information, check this out.
Yarn can be whipped into lots of fun items. Now that's crafty.
When you try to master any craft, you'll find out there's steps to follow, boundaries to stay within, and rules. But sometimes you need to throw away the order and just improvise.
Located near the corner of Broadway and 78th Street is the Soder Lee Black Box Theater, where Improv is the name of the game. But according to the experts, you can't spell improvisation without spontaneity. Well, almost.
What happens is when people are younger, they're kids, they have no problem being spontaneous. They say, that man's fat, or this man's bald, or look at him, the funny man. And your mother tells them, don't say that. So what improv is about is teaching you how to be a kid again. You learn how to talk spontaneously and to speak as though you know what you're talking about when you don't have a clue sometimes.
I might be really good at this then.
There's also a really important community connection you make with improv. Unlike stand-up comedy when you're all alone, in improv you're always feeding off other people's energy and ideas.
A lot of things in society teach us to take credit for our own ideas, but improv teaches you to build together, to work together, and it's a very communal sport. I mean, improvisers love hanging out together and love working together. You work together and you don't try to identify whose ideas it was. It's our idea.
Doing improv isn't easy. Mastering it is even harder. But in this make-believe world, there are rules and techniques to follow.
So the rule
is to say yes and. Whatever I say, you yes and me. So we start off with why we were late. We were late because we were on our way here to come and we ran into a man in a car.
Yes, and the car seemed to only have 3 wheels on it today.
Yes, and with 3 wheels, he asked us if we could add a wheel, we could help him fix the flat.
Yes, but we didn't have a wheel to give him, so instead we
went over to a garage and we stole a wheel because we didn't have any money to get it. And we came back to the car and the man said to us...
Yes, he said, listen, I don't like dealing with thieves, but since you've got the tire today, let's just put it on there.
So we put it on and...
Tom had me on my toes trying to keep up the story with these yes ands. It's a lot harder than it looks.
We stayed there for a while, but realized that the class was here in the city, so we hopped on a boat.
Right, because that's the only way you could actually get from an island to another island. And once we got back to this island, we were actually longing for
the peace and quiet of a class. And so after the strenuous time we had, we settled down into the class, and that's why we're late.
That's why we're late.
Since I seem to get the approval of the whole class, time for me to join in. For the first exercise, the group plays a word association game. Throw a fake ball, say a word.
Toss it to someone else. White.
Black.
Pink.
Panther.
Green.
Goblin.
No. Smile.
Laugh.
French.
Next, we move on to the harder stuff. Improvising micro scenes.
How do we wind up working in such a dramatic park?
I don't know. I guess it's because we got in trouble at the last precinct, busting all those old people.
When are you gonna get over this make-believe we're cops thing? We're ice cream men.
I need a fantasy.
It's okay.
Anyone could be spontaneous and learn the craft of improv at Sunday Night Improv every week. From uptown back over to Brooklyn, it's time to visit a craft that doesn't allow for all that much improvising. Taro's Origami Studio is located on 7th Avenue in the heart of Park Slope. Some people think origami is just kids' stuff, but not here. Taro's is the learning center for this ancient art of paper folding. It's the only art studio and school dedicated solely to origami in the US and quite possibly the world. Anyone of any age can take lessons here, or just stop by the drop-in corner. If you can imagine it, there are people who can fold it.
Origami is actually a Japanese word, and it's two words. There's the word oru and the word gami, and it's to fold and paper. So it's the art of folding paper. There's only about 40 different steps in origami. It's kind of like the alphabet system. If you can learn how to make all the different kinds of folds, it's just a matter of the sequence and how you fold them and where you put them.
At Taro's, they have a system of color levels, like in martial arts, called cues.
The bottom level belt is actually yellow, so you'll get a yellow band once you graduate from all the easy folds, and I obviously have a black belt. This is from being a teacher.
What do I have to do to achieve the yellow?
To get the yellow belt, I'm going to teach you a samurai helmet, which is one of the nice traditional origami models that teaches a lot of the basic folds that you need. I'm just going to show you what we're actually going to do. That is the samurai helmet.
Wait a second. You made that look really easy.
Well, this isn't a race. We're not trying to beat anyone to the finish. We want to be as precise as we possibly can.
Precision.
Precision is important. The first thing we're gonna do is a diagonal fold. So take one corner all the way up to the top corner, and then hold one finger there and lock that in place. Slide from the center down to the middle, and then take the thumb from your left hand, hold that in place, and then just slide out to the corners. And because it's a square...
Ben wasn't kidding when he talked about precision. It's tricky to get these little folds so perfectly lined up. But with a little patience and some close direction following, origami mastery is right at your fingertips. But what about that elusive bracelet? I must have the bracelet.
Now we're gonna open the model up and tuck that sheet inside. Just like that.
Awesome.
Well done.
Yeah.
And for that, congratulations.
Really?
An origami first belt yellow cube.
So this is an easy
model.
Easy model.
This origami dragon
You beat me to it. I was gonna say, so this is my next one, right?
Well, that starts the exact same way. The first fold in that model is that diagonal fold. So you've got...
I'm halfway there.
You're 1 out of 275 steps. And it takes me about 10 to 12 hours to fold. So.
Wow.
So where do we fall in the budget at Taro's? For just a penny more at $10, you get a half hour at the drop-in corner. Make as many pieces as you like with unlimited access to a rainbow of paper choices. Using their proprietary tablets with animated illustrations, you can select a step-by-step lesson for many different designs. Keep in mind, you're not flying totally solo. If you run into trouble, there are professionals to get you back on track. It's no dragon, but this tulip will look great on my fridge. Besides, can't do 275 folds. I am just, after all, a yellow belt.
Well, I got my money's worth here for my half an hour at Taro's Origami Studio. And for more information on how you can get folding, check this out.
Take paper folding to a new level, and remember, take your time. It's not a race. When I've got a few extra bucks to spend, I call my friend and concierge to the stars, Michael Fazio, and we call this the Splurge.
Hello, it's Michael. Hey, Michael, it's Dave Evans. Dave, check this out. We're doing an episode all about craft.
Craft? Like craft beer or like crafts like paper mache?
Think of it like a broad definition of the word craft.
How do you feel about fire?
I have nothing against fire.
And a little electricity.
Electricity and fire. I love that you always put me in the line of danger, Michael.
Prepare to be electrified.
Okay, yeah, I'm intrigued.
526 46th Avenue in Long Island City, Queens is where my electric adventure starts. Krypton Neon has been run by master glass artist Kenny Greenberg since 1981. After his first career wasn't quite as fulfilling as he hoped, Kenny studied at the world-famous New York Experimental Glass Workshop, now called Urban Glass, and became their first resident neon artist. To say Kenny is the king of neon might make him blush, but with Broadway shows, major motion pictures, and fine art museums calling on him regularly, it's a safe title. After some quick but important safety tips, the first thing Kenny shows me is how to cut glass.
Pull, push?
Either one. I guess, let's see, what do? I sort of pull and then push a little bit back in the same score. There you go. That sounded good. Let's see what happens. Remember, away from yourself. There you go.
Aha! There's something very liberating about conquering glass.
Right? You have to learn what glass wants.
And what glass wants in Kenny's shop is to be formed into interesting shapes. For that, I'll need to learn another basic neon skill, fusing glass back together. To splice glass, you'll need a few things, like these very hot flames, as well as this yellow tube thing around my neck called a blowhose, which helps you put air back into the tube to ensure that gas can travel through smoothly.
Try not to touch the glass together at this point because it'll stick together. You're going to heat it till you see the glass literally, we call it getting wet. Okay, now take it out of the flame and just carefully, very good. Back in the flame, keep it rotating. If it gets away from you, take it out of the flame. Try puffing a little bit. There you go. You got a pretty good splice going there. Pull a little bit.
But you can't make a neon sign without perhaps the most important skill of all, glass bending.
So this would be a right angle bend.
Okay.
This is a double back bend.
A double back bend.
This is what we would call a sweep.
And a sweep.
Whereas these we would make in the crossfires here, where we have a tight flame.
Right.
A longer sweep we would make in the ribbon burner.
Aha.
We're gonna...
Sounds easy? Well, it isn't. But the feeling you get as the glass gives way to the flames is really an experience.
Okay, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Beautiful. Well done.
All right.
Learning to make neon is certainly a splurge at $395, but the workshop is 2 full 7-hour days.
Yeah?
Not bad.
Talk about the value of the class.
Well, for one thing, you're going to walk away hopefully with a neon piece.
Which in and of itself is probably worth that price tag, right?
It can be, depending on the quality of your workmanship.
Right, exactly.
I get that this is only a half-hour show, so in the interest of time, Kenny is helping me get to the final shape. Can you guess what it is yet? Next stop, the bombardment table. Here's how the process goes. First, the tube gets zapped with high voltage, bringing it to almost 500 degrees Fahrenheit. Then a vacuum lowers the pressure inside the glass to like outer space type measures.
Mostly you're seeing purple from nitrogen because nitrogen makes up 80% of the air.
Now that all the impurities are vaporized, Kenny adds in the gas we'll actually see.
And now I'm actually metering in some neon gas.
Once the glass piece is filled, it's tipped off and brought over to the aging table.
I'm gonna be super cautious.
Okay, and then we turn it on.
Whoa, awesome. There it is. The 9. How cool is that? Kenny, thank you so much.
Pleasure, thank you.
This is great. And for more information on how you can take a class here at Krypton Neon, check this out.
Put your name in lights with this splurge. It'll brighten your week.
I had a great time exploring New York City's world of crafts with you, but let's recap and make sure we did okay with our price point.
For a donation of $5, tinker with the Fixers Collective at Proteus every third Thursday. Vegan sweets await at Dunwell Donuts in Williamsburg, where you can get your munchie fill for under $10. Get a basic project started at the colorful world of Lion Brand Yarn in Union Square for under $10. Plus, don't miss out on their special groups and meetups. At Sunday Night Improv, learn the craft of comedy and enjoy a show for a penny more at $10. A half hour of unlimited paper and tons of projects await at Taro's Origami in Park Slope for just $10. And learn to make neon with the Babe Ruth of electrified gas. Bring your checkbook, as this splurge will set you back $395. But that includes a sign, made by you.
So it just goes to show you don't have to spend tons of money to have a great time in New York City. You just gotta get out there and do it. For $9.99, I'm Dave Evans. I'll see you next time. I'm excited to see what's gonna happen at the Fixers, but before we do that, let's cross the river and see a men's weaving group. What was the rest of this terrible line? See a men's weaving group that's knitting a tight-knit community? And visit a tight-knit men's group. Can we do it in voiceover? Can we?